I will begin my presentation. Hello, everyone. I'm Mohammed Kazmi, and I'm presenting my final project for software system design. So I chose to make a project for the company Rickshaw. It's a real-time ride-sharing service, and the problem that this company is solving, it basically is going to provide real-time ride-sharing service that efficiently matches passengers with drivers considering factors like location, traffic, and dynamic pricing. So the overall goal for the business um, is able to be used around the globe. There's some countries that have limited resources, and even public transportation for them is so crowded. But I know, especially like when I go to other countries, the traffic sometimes is terrible. So this service helps the environment, and it helps people to find drivers that are close to their location that can assist them in their travels. So overall, it's a win-win for everybody, and this will make the road safer too because there'll be less people on the road trying to rush and get places. People can go together, such as carpooling, but this isn't a business model. So this is my presentation. I did write up a presentation too, but I wanted to make a GitHub entry. So some of the functionalities is the passenger registration and login. So any passenger that downloads the app, they would log in, they would put their information, so they could be verified. So also the driver registration and approval process. So this is real crucial. The driver should have a certified license, have insurance, valid insurance, and have a car that's newer and safe, and has the required FDA requirements. So ride requests and matching algorithms, dynamic pricing based on demand and traffic, payment processing and receipt generation, and real-time GPS tracking of rides. Rating and feedback system for passengers and drivers, which is real key too. So we know which drivers are good. If there's any issues, this is help the business and help the user, which is the most important thing. Make sure the user is happy and that we get their feedback and we can quickly implement changes to meet their criteria so the business can keep growing. So target users would be passengers needing reliable and quick transportation. An example, kind of like I mentioned before, if you're in a big city, you're going to work, everybody's going to work at the same time. I mean, luckily, if you're in the U.S., you really don't have that issue. You have the highways, you have the train station, you have the subway. But in some countries, with limited resources, it gets pretty tough. I know I've seen people like jam-packed on trains in other countries, so it can be a real problem. And a good business helps to solve a big problem and kind of reach the masses, which this is going to do. So drivers looking to offer their services through a flexible platform, and so also people making money, right? You're giving people jobs, and you're helping people out that have jobs and need reliable transportation or a way to get to work. So the business goals provide a scalable and reliable service, optimize operational costs while ensuring quality, maintain a high level of customer satisfaction. So these are the business requirements. Now I'm going to go over the non-functional requirements with the performance. So scalability, handle up to 1 million users and be scalable after that. Response time under 2 seconds for critical operations. So make sure we have enough redundancy in place that there's no single point of failure. Security, so authentication via OAuth 2 for secure access. Authorization based on roles, admin, driver, passenger, customer support. So depending on the role that you have, you should have those levels of credentials and nothing more, nothing less. So you want to make sure the people using the system have clear defined roles and the correct access, because that's really, really important in security. We don't want to give people access that don't need it as part of their day to day. And if they do need access, then we'd rather them request it than have full-time access, um, just to kind of dot all the I's and make sure we cover any security threats. So also data encryption for all sensitive information, which is a must, which always HTTPS. So maintainability, modular code structure allows for easy updates and feature additions, comprehensive documentation and unit tests, which is pretty standard in the industry. Additional requirements, compliance with local transportation regulations. This is really important depending on what country it's going to be used in. Each country will go by that local transportation regulation as far as insurance, valid drivers, driver licenses. So that all that stuff would have to be verified, which this will be API. So there's a Google Maps, I think, S2 that's available. That's what's going to be used. And then for the use case diagrams, I'm going to identify the actors. So the primary actors are the passenger, who's going to book a ride, make a payment, rate the ride. Then there's the driver, who's going to accept the ride request, complete the ride, and receive payment. And then there's the admin that's going to manage system operations, users, and handle disputes. So the admin essentially would be the middle person in either situation. If they need to revoke a passenger, block a passenger or a driver, remove their account, or report them for any reason or any situation that might arise, hence to handle disputes, they would be the ones to have the access to do that. Next, you have the payment processor and the GPS service as supporting actors. So, payment processor would be to process payments, refunds, and handle transaction issues such as, a high fee for a certain type of payment. So, let's say you're paying with a card that's not covered. They might charge you a fee just to process it. So, GPS service provides real-time location data for route optimization and tracking. And then the all-stage actors of the marketing team analyze user data for targeted promotion and growth strategies. Marketing is key in any business. If you're in business, you know that. Without a marketing team, you're pretty much dead in the water, especially nowadays with social media. That's really the driving factor that especially new businesses try to get their target audience from. Customer support resolve passenger and driver issues, handle complaints, and provide assistance. And then a maintenance team. Maintenance team kind of covers BC team or anybody that's going to be hands-on, let's say layer 1 and layer 3, The server infrastructure that functions smoothly. So the use cases that I picked were request a ride. These are very self-explanatory. Request a ride, accept the ride, start a ride, rate the ride, verify driver info. This is very important to me. So let's say that someone's like a sketchy driver or they don't have the best background record. Our background check and what we would be doing here is doing just that. Make sure that any passenger that's using our platform is going to be linked with a safe driver. They're going to know who it is, that even if they need to do a research on them, they can. I'm about full transparency, and I think we should vet each side, the customer and the driver. So also, and provide customer support, so involve passenger, driver, and customer support. Admin would be kind of for disputes. Customer support would be more for like, hey, my app is not working. Hey, I got locked out. Well, the admin would be the locked out part, but this is kind of be like initial front line. And then if they need escort to the admin, they do it for you. Then I have the classes and the attributes, which you can see. I'm not going to name all these out, not necessary. But first, you'll know for the use cases. So I have a customer for request a ride, cancel ride, pay for a ride. I had the admin for managing accounts. I had a driver accept a ride, reject a ride, start the ride, or end the ride. I like this function, like option 2, to reject a ride, because sometimes you might get a ride or get an option for a ride, and it might be, okay, take this person to, let's say, the airport, and it's like a 3-hour ride. And because you have other stuff to do, you can reject the ride